So arguably the most popular Pokemon set since 1999 was Evolving Skies, which was the turning point where Pokemon collecting slowly became very money driven. Now, there's a few areas in today's video that we need to unpack, though the main areas are, number one, the timing of Evolving Skies release and what this meant for its success. Number two, the severe scalping and market manipulation that was happening. Number three, the crazy disparity between pull rates and demand. And four, the toxicity with the fandom within the secondary market. Now, before we get into this video, I just wanted to say hi, my name is Phil and I'm a video marketing professional who enjoys collectibles, and I try to use my own marketing expertise to bring you into the world of collectibles. So if you like to stay up to date with Pokemon, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. My intention is for you to grow as a person by consuming my content. Now, here's the thing, right? I do invest in collectibles, though there's an interesting thing surrounding investing in collectibles. I invest in them because I enjoy collecting them. I don't invest in them because I like investing. The potential gains from my collection that may rise is only an additional benefit to a hobby I genuinely enjoy. In fact, I'm actually quite neutral if my cards and collections don't rise in value because it's placed as a hobby and it overtakes any potential gains. This is because I only buy what I genuinely want in my collection, and I never buy products because I believe they will rise in value, because I've actually made some huge mistakes that cost me a lot of money, which I will reveal in detail later in the video. Now, it should be noted that investing in collectibles is not a quick flip, and there's a lot of people within this space who believe products should rise in a matter of a few months. And I mean, like, a recent example of this was Bandai's new Dragon Ball Fusion World TCG, which released in February this year. A lot of people said it's a dead TCG as prices have literally plummeted and it's now worthless. But really, no TCG expansion should rise within 6 months, and if it does, then this is actually a major issue with the printing demands and the distribution. Fusion World is just one of the many examples of the expectations regarding TCGs and collectibles, though I kind of think Evolving Skies is to blame for this. And what I mean by this is, so we have to first tackle the first issue at play, which was the timing of Evolving Skies release. Evolving Skies couldn't have launched at a better time. The pandemic caused a massive shift in the world of collectibles, and Evolving Skies is the perfect example of being in the right place at the right time. And the only release with better timing that comes to mind is Animal Crossing New Horizons. So seriously, just talk about the impeccable timing of that release. Now, with the whole influx of these new fans who entered the hobby during 2020, many people were stuck at home revisiting their childhood hobbies, and Pokemon cards were a shared love by many fans. Now, to understand just how popular Pokemon became, the search term Pokemon cards on Google actually received 4 times more search volume. So yes, Evolving Skies dropped right at the highest point of Pokemon's TCG popularity, though not only that, it was a set that was stacked with some of the best evolution artworks and fan favorite chase cards, which include, like Umbreon, Rayquaza, and Dragonite. So it was seriously a perfect storm. Now, this caused so many fans to be obsessed with it. However, the obsession comes with other problems, which leads us to the second problem, which was the supply and scalping issues. Evolving Skies was printed pretty heavily. It's not like it was underprinted, though to add some insult to injury, the Umbreon chase card was so highly desired, people were just buying this set in bulk, and even with Pokemon's attempt to try and supply the set, it couldn't keep up with the demand. No matter how much Evolving Skies product entered the scene, collectors and scalpers all joined in to try and rip open the set. Now, Pokemon did release a few waves of reprints, but even so, this didn't have much effect on calming down the massive demand. It was literally like opening the gates to a theme park, but there's only one ride working and you have thousands of people in line. I mean, everyone's excited, but only a few people will actually get on. So no matter how much Evolving Skies came in, the chance to even pull something rare was incredibly hard, which leads to the third issue, which was the ridiculously difficult pull rates. The pull rates in Evolving Skies were notoriously rough, which is why the community actually cleverly dubbed it Evolving Cries. Just so you can get an idea of how difficult the pull rates were, the highest rarity, which is a VMAX alternate art, is around a 1 in 270 chance to pull, but the chance to pull a specific VMAX alternate alternate art, like the Umbreon chase card, is somewhere between 1 in 1,600 to 1 in 1,700 packs. So I mean, by doing the maths, at 4 USD per pack, with a chance to pull a chase card being 1 in 1,700 packs, it would cost the collector approximately $6,800 to statistically pull the Umbreon. Now, as much as this was a problem, the mixture of crazy pull rates, scalping issues, and the timing of release during when everyone was locked within their homes caused the worst problem, which was the toxic secondary market. Okay, so Pokemon is a great franchise. It's brought so much love to a lot of fans. The one area where Pokemon has problems is the fan base and the toxicity with the community. So the toxic secondary market was not too surprising. I mean, Pokemon is a staple for a lot of people, right? And a lot of fans have such a strong connection to the games and the franchise, and this is very likely due to it being an integral part of their childhoods, right? Myself included. We all kind of experienced Pokemon growing up. Though the fan base can be quite difficult and very unreasonable. So if you were around when the Sword and Shield games were released and they actually announced that Sword and Shield wouldn't contain every single Pokemon, which was also known as Dexit, this was probably one of the worst things I have seen with a fandom. It seems to be a quite common theme with Pokemon. I mean, like even last year when the Van Gogh Museum had people piling up fighting over the Pikachu card. During the pandemic, Targets had to stop selling Pokemon cards temporarily because of safety concerns in the store, and the secondary market just became a very toxic place, which isn't really the heart of what Pokemon is about. Pokemon's main focus is community and trading, but it all took a turn for the worse. With all this being said, it kind of does make you wonder if Evolving Skies hype has been positive for the hobby or negative. Truth be told, we haven't really had anything like Evolving Skies happen since. The closest we've really had is Pokemon 151, and while it's kind of looking to be a similar situation now with slight scalping, it's also true that Pokemon 151 was very available for a very long time, even below retail price, which Evolving Skies never really had the chance to have. Now, I did mention earlier in the video relating to the mistakes that cost me money, and I would try buy cards that I thought would rise in value, but the problem was I was just left with a lot of cards in my collection that I didn't actually want in my collection because I thought they would rise in value. So, you know, a good rule of thumb is buy what you love and then worry about any of the potential gains later, because if you're caring about if it's going to rise in value, you can really cause some problems for yourself. Now, the thing is, right, I love Evolving Skies, but part of me also feels like it changed the hobby in a lot of ways. I feel it caused unrealistic expectations of what's expected, and now I feel a lot of collectors now look at Evolving Skies as a benchmark of what should be considered a good set. If it doesn't rise straight away and if a lot of people don't want it, oh, then it's a trash set. But that's never really the case. The reality is that Evolving Skies was a perfect storm. Everything happened in its favor, which made it so desirable. It's very unlikely to have this repeat, but collectors still believe that we will get the next Evolving Skies. Even if we do get another Eevee themed set, which is coming next year, I don't think it will be able to compete toe-to-toe with Evolving Skies, purely because the timing of the release wouldn't be able to match the kind of things that were happening in the world at that time. Evolving Skies has a lot of lessons for collectors, and I truly believe Pokemon will be very prepared for the upcoming Eevee set, which is scheduled to release next year. We actually haven't had an Eevee themed set since Evolving Skies, so I believe that this will be the first time we actually see how well an Eevee themed set will perform. I think this will be one of the most interesting time periods to be within the hobby, though as I said, it's going to be very hard to compete with Evolving Skies. Now, while Pokemon collecting and investing is enjoyable, there is also a time and place for knowing when to pause and when to take a break. In fact, it's a good thing to note that you cannot collect everything, and I explain exactly what I mean by that in this video here. Collecting Pokemon cards is an incredibly enjoyable hobby, but trust me, you can't collect everything, and you shouldn't really do that anyway. If you enjoyed this video, click this video that's appearing on screen right here, and we'll talk more about it there.